Hello, welcome back to our module on business communication. In the previous section, we had an overview of different concepts, characteristics, and features of business communication. Today, I'm going to start with a recap of what we have learned. So let's start with a quiz. You have learned about the concept, the elements, and the characteristics of business communication. Now, read the following questions and do the responses. You have 15 seconds for each of the questions, and at the end of every question, you are going to have an answer right away. So let's start. Question number 1. Which of the following best reflect the concept of communication? You have A, B, C, and D. Communication is an exchange of facts and ideas by two or more persons. B, communication is the promotion of options, of opinion of two or more people. Communication is the sharing of experiences. Or communication is the exchange of facts, ideas, and emotions. And the correct answer is D. Right, let's continue with question number 2. With question number 2, which of the following best reflect the elements of business communication? You have A, B, C, and D. So let's start with the time. 15 seconds for this question. A, B, C, or D. So you can see the correct answer is A. Business communication involves both internal and external communication. Let's continue with question number 3, which reflect the concepts of business communication. Business communication is used for the promotion of product or services. Business communication is used for the supply of product or services. Business communication is used for the sharing of products and services, and business communication is used for the exchange of products and services. Tie is up, and the answer is D. Continue with question number 4. A subordinate sent an email to his supervisor. What elements of business communication does it reflect? Downward communication, upward communication, external communication, or lateral communication. So 15 seconds is now for you to answer this question, and the correct answer is a subordinate sent email to a supervisor. So the answer is C. Question number 5. An executive director sending memo to all his employees is an example of A or B, upward communication or downward communication. A director sending a memo to all employees, so you can find it so easy. The correct answer is B. Let's continue with question number 6. The dialogic process between employees and employers and employees and employees refer the process of internal communication. Is the statement true or false? 15 seconds is now for you. Are you ready with the answer? Very simple and easy. The answer is true. The next question. Question number 7. Effective business communication is a monologue, not a dialogue. True or false? The answer is false. Question number 8. Good communication improves commitment and job satisfaction. 15 seconds is now ready for all of you, and the answer is A. Question number 9. If a manager wants to announce a new policy, he or she would use oral communication only. So the answer is true or false. 15 seconds is now for you, and perhaps you got the right answer right away. The correct answer is false. He or she should use different types of communication. It can be oral communication, it can be written communication. The next question. What are some basic elements business communication involves? Message sender receiver channel, or message sender receiver channel and symbol A, B, C, or D. And you can see 15 seconds is there for you. And the correct answer would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 elements. So you can see the answer is C. So the next question, question number 11. A business communication must have a specific objective and must be planned properly so that the objective can be achieved. So what feature of communication is it? You have A, target-oriented, B, clear and brief, C, factual, and D, practical. So 15 seconds is there for you, and I suppose you got the correct answers right away. The correct answer is A or D. Is A, target-oriented. And the last question, business communication may be of different types: formal communication, informal communication, upward communication, downward communication, sidewise, written, oral, etc. Is that true or false? 15 seconds is there now for the last trial, and your correct answer was true. So that is the end of the quiz. Thank you very much for doing the quiz. And we are going to start with the new lesson today. So this quiz would give you some overview of what we have studied yesterday. And today we are going to look at the next module, Psychology of Communication. So Psychology of Communication, this is the second module of our Business Communication graduation course. So with Psychology of Communication, I'm going to start with what you can see. No matter how people communicate, we are sending a message or we are receiving a message. And just as we are sending a message or we are receiving a message, we are dealing with people, and people are different. People are not the same. So understanding Psychology of Communication is very important. The basic principle of communication psychology deals with the principle of human motivation and human behavior. And I think this is a very important principle and very important concept, because at the very root of any communication, you can see communication start with some motivation. The question I often ask my students is why they go to school or why they attend lecture. I ask this question to many students, and they give me different responses. Some of you may think about the reason. What keeps our student going to class? What keeps you going to class? What keeps you attending lectures? Some of you say, I go to class because I want to learn new knowledge. Other students say, I want to learn new skills. Other students say, I want to meet my friends. I want to show my beautiful hairdo. I want to show how much I like being with my friends. And some of you just say, I want to be with a teacher. I want to see her. I want to hear her speak. I want to see her smile. I want to interact with her. So there would be a lot of answers. And this will show you people would go to class because they have different motivation to go to class. They have different motivation to go to school. They have different motivation to attend class, to attend lecture. So think about this, because the motivation will affect the behavior. If your students go to class because they want to learn new knowledge, as teacher, we teach them new knowledge. They want to learn new skills. We cannot give them new skills, but we facilitate them to develop those skills. They say they want to be with their friends. They want to talk with their friends. So you create classroom activities so that students can get together. Students can work together. They can discuss. They can give their opinions. They can express their point of view. By doing this, they get to better understanding. Students say, I want to be in an atmosphere which is very supportive, very creative. So teacher would create a lot of activities where creative thinking process takes place. So this is very necessary for every setting, even in our classroom, in a business environment. Have you ever thought about what keeps you going to work every day? What is in the workplace that really affects you, that really motivates you to work? So that can be not a single question. It cannot be a single question. It cannot be a single answer, because different people would give different opinions. So the important and the principle of communication psychology is human motivation and human behavior. And this is a very key concept, very key principle that really helps you to understand the root cause of any communication that takes place, human motivation and human behavior. A lot of people say, what do you live for? What is your life aim at? You live for money, you live for work, you live to work, you live to love, you live to be loved, you live to share your opinions, you live to share your value, you live to be with others, you live to learn, to live, and to be a man. Those principles would really motivate people to do what they want to do. It really leads to their performance, really leads to their behavior. So human motivation and human behavior are the principles of psychology of communication. So whenever you start a conversation, whenever you develop a conversation, always think about what motivates people to keep talking to you, to keep the conversation going. Think about this. Put that into your mind whenever you communicate with others. What is there that lies in their head that really keep you speak with them, keep you speaking with them, keeps you being with them? So that is very necessary for our understanding. Understanding psychology communication helps avoid approaches that may threaten individual self-image or block effective communications. And it helps promote goodwill, it helps promote understanding among different people. Let me tell you some examples and some real example scenarios that have already taken place to me. Many years ago, I went to a city about 200 kilometers away from home. And I went to a restaurant with some of my colleagues. And by coming to a restaurant, I saw a young man. He came toward me and he said hello to me. He said, is that Chi? Is that Yao Chi? You Miss Chi? I say, yes, I am. And he looks at me and he said, why are you so big? I haven't seen you for ages. And you know what that means to me? I felt like I cannot talk. I felt like something had blocked my communication because no ever single woman would like other people to say that they are big. You know, saying something like this really stop communication. Or if you come across a person, a lady who is unmarried, and you say, why can't you get married? What's wrong with you? So how do you think that really affects communication? It really stops communication because it blocks the self-image and it blocks the communication. Right, so good communication psychology is very important. The principle of communication psychology, we are going to start with understanding how much we know about human behavior. We are going to look at our needs. We are going to see that our needs really determine our reactions, and we are going to look at nonverbal communication, and our language really affects our behavior. Right, so understanding human behavior is a necessary foundation for being a successful communicator. So how do we know about human behavior? A lot of research has been done on understanding human behavior by doing research in psychology, because we are going to look at individual behavior, we are going to look at behavioral differences among individuals, we are going to look at sociology, that is the differences between different groups' behavior, and we are going to look at anthropology, we are going to look at cultural behavior. So let me tell you another example, another story that happened to my husband. He used to work for a Korean company, and one day he went to work and he went to a meeting and he saw his Korean client, and he saw him with a beautiful jacket in beige color. And as a courtesy procedure, he came to say, oh, what a lovely jacket you are wearing. And you know what happened? In the afternoon, he came to work, and on the desk, he could see a packet. On opening the packet, he could see a nice jacket with the same color in the packet with a note, this is for you because I really appreciate you like my jacket. So it means that in Korea and in Japan, if you show your interest in something of possession, they would be happy to give it to you as a gift or a present. but never show your appreciation to their daughter and to their wife, because that is something you must not do. And it is very clear that doing business in different cultures that require a lot of understanding and require a lot of comfort, rely a lot of effort to think about how to keep that relationship out of the conflicts because of differences in culture. Right. So now we are going to look at our needs. And we see that we all have different needs, and we have certain needs at certain times in our life. And a successful communicator has the ability to understand the needs of those people who would like to receive his or her message. A successful communicator speaks and write with the needs of the receiver in their mind. And that really shows that you really understand the psychology of communication. You understand the differences of different individuals. So a look at our needs. There are different needs, and they are compared to the different rungs of a ladder. Only when you are well settled, I mean you are stable, you feel safe in one rung, you can think about and get attention to getting to the next rung. So let's consider the different rungs of a ladder to the hierarchy which has been introduced by Maslow. And Maslow had introduced the hierarchy of needs. At the bottom you could see physiological needs, then come safety and security needs, belonging and love needs, esteem needs, and self-actualization. So let's probe to the depth of these different levels. Level 1, rung 1's physiological needs. It is the lowest level of needs by Maslow. So these are the basic things we need before we can think of something else. For example, we need food, something to eat, something to drink, something to wear, even sleep, even sex. All of these are very basics. Until these needs are well met, we cannot think of anything else. From the very basic levels of need, the second lowest rung would be safety and security ones. Now we think about keeping ourselves free from harm and mental harm and physical abuse. Most of us can try avoid situation where it can cause harm to your body and to your mind. We say we would like to eat, but when we have enough to eat, we think about what to eat to keep ourselves healthy, what to drink to keep ourselves free from physical and mental harm. We think about sleeping not just everywhere, but in a comfortable bed that can give you very good sleep. You can think about having education. You can think about having entertainment. And all of these would be higher compared to the lowest level of needs. So let's go to rung number 3. But then when you want to eat, you don't want to eat alone. When you want to drink, you don't want to drink on your own, because that would be so sad, so lonely. You think about social and love needs. You think about the need to belong to someone. You want to drink something which has been well cooked by somebody else, because it shows that they really love you. You offer somebody something to eat. It's not just to satisfy the needs for food, it is the need for love, because you recognize their love. You recognize, you appreciate their love to you. Every one of us wants to belong to someone. You say, my idol. You say, my darling. You say, my honey. You say, my everything. You always want to belong to someone. You always want somebody to belong to you. And you say, that's mine. Because that is very special need. That would show that you belong to someone and somebody belongs to you. The need for love, the need for self-belonging would be very necessary and important. For example, you say, you work for somebody else, and you say, oh, that person is in my group, and you would be very happy with that. From that, we go to rung 4, the need to be someone, self-esteem and ego needs. So the need to be someone, the need for self-respect, the need for confidence, the need for personal reputation, esteeming others. Everybody wants to be someone. You want to be recognized. You want to become a member of UFLSUD. You are happy. You are being very proud. Vietnam Airlines cabin crew, They are very happy when they can have the logo showing that they're working for Vietnam Airlines. People working in a bank, they have the uniform showing that they are bank staff. You are working in an organization, you are wearing a uniform. So by wearing a uniform, you really show that you are someone. You belong to someone. That is in rung number 3. It goes to rung number 4 because you are really want to be someone. That is the real need, the need to be someone. And when all of these needs have been well met, people think about how to help others. They think about the need to actualize their own potential, to realize their potential, to be able to do what they want to do, to be creative, to help others. So once the above needs are reasonably met, 2 things will happen. We are more willing to help others who are still struggling with the lower rungs of needs, and we become more creative. And creative people make a better life, and that is something you aim for. In our daily life, you could see a lot of very successful business people. They are doing a lot of charitable work to help the poor communities, to help vulnerable groups of people, because it is their time. They have already reasonably met all of the other needs, and they are thinking about helping others. So as a recap of what we are doing, I want you to do this. Look at these questions, and I want you to put A, B, C, D, and E into different questions. So number 1, when you say I'm starving, so what kind of need do you think? I'm starving. Or please lock the door. I hope I won't get fined. So I'm starving, of course, you say, oh, I'm hungry, the need for food. That would be a physiological need. Please lock the door because I want to be safe. So that would be the second rung of psychology of communication. You say, I hope I won't get fired for that mistake because I want to have job safety and job security. So that also be. You say, I will succeed with that new program. That would be what we say. You want to be creative and you want to be successful. That would be E, self-actualization need. You say, I wish they would invite me to go for lunch. That would necessarily show you the need for love and affection because you would like to be able to socialize with others. I want to chair that committee. I want to chair that meeting. The need to be someone, self-esteem, right? Though people in that office are just mean. So what do you think? That would be C. Number A would be D. Number 9, exactly, I know I can be a class president, that need to be someone to help others. And last of all, I'm exhausted, the need for a rest, right? So there are 2 situations. Let me read it for you. So 2 situations here. Madeline always feels like she never included any group activity for social events. So that should become depressed and lonely. So according to Maslow, what category of needs has not been fulfilled? Social or self-actualization, physiological needs, safety, and self-esteem. So I think you know for sure that would be the first one, social. Rung number 3, love and belonging needs. The second situation, when all of the physiological needs are met, people tend to become concerned with higher rung, that would be safety needs, right? So you can think about anything, a product or a service that you have already used or you have already bought. Think about your current job. And in your current job, what kind of needs that you think you have already met? For example, I'm a teacher. In my job, I got salary, I get pay. So with the money I get, I can pay for basic necessity, food and drink, even shelter. I can help others. I can be with other people. I can sacrifice my love and social needs. I can help others. I can be creative. I can have lessons to teach younger people so I can come to that self-actualization. I'm a teacher and you see me and you say, hello, Michi, nice to see you. And you call me Mr. or Mistress. So that would be the need to be somebody. So I think being in a job like me with my work for the current time I have already met all types of needs. And you think about buying any products. When you buy a product, when you buy a service, think about not just the basic needs that you really want to meet. It can be others. It can be higher rungs. It's not just very basic. Even you buy a loaf of bread, even you buy a cup of coffee, think about the space, think about the atmosphere, think about people you are with, think about the quality of service. That would give you the very starting point of thinking about product and services. So I want you to look at this little girl, and she's standing by a car. And what do you think? What kind of needs do you think you can identify in her? You saw her crying, so she might be, what do you think? She might be hungry, or she might be thirsty, or she might be looking for her daddy or her mommy. She cannot find them somewhere else. Or she's looking for her teddy bear or pet dog. It can be anything else. So it can be safety, it can be love and social needs, it can be physiological needs. But it cannot be like the need to be someone or the need to help others, because you cannot help others when you are crying. But in case you can, if she wants to help the poor to buy the lotteries, so she would like to cry so that her parents would buy it for her. So by buying the toy, the lottery, she can help others to sell the products. So you can think in this way, and you can help develop your ability of thinking about psychological communication. So our needs really determine our reactions, because determining the needs of people to whom you are writing or speaking can help facilitate successful communication. And also our needs determine our reactions. You can identify different levels of needs, and you can react to those needs, whether you decide to buy a product, to look for a job, to accept a job offer, or to refuse a job offer, right? And always put yourself in the place of your receiver to think about the needs that they may have when they are having a conversation with you. And our language affects our behavior. The words you use can make us behave in different ways. The words you use can make us feel that we are comfortable, we are aggressive, we are dominant, we are assertive. The words we use are only symbols, and meaning are always added to the process of communication. All right? And also, don't forget nonverbal communication. I want you to look at this picture, and I want you to show me what's wrong. You can see 3 men. And what's wrong with this picture? In the first man, you can see he has no eyes. Without eyes, how can he maintain eye contact with the interlocutor, with the people he's communicating with? The second one, he wants to see, and he wants to talk to people, but he cannot hear what other people say because he didn't pay attention, or he turned a deaf ear to someone. The third person, he can see very well, he can hear very well, but he cannot talk well, he cannot speak well. So all of these 3 people, when it comes into communication, they will be in trouble because they don't have the right body language that can really help them in the process of communication. So this brings me to the importance of nonverbal communication, which involves facial expression, posture, gesture, and also cultural and environmental differences. So with nonverbal communication, we would look at our movements, our personal space, our facial expressions. So you can see the importance of body language, and body language with facial expression, gesture, it makes up 55% of what we would like to communicate. 38% come from our voice, and only 7% come from words. So together with verbal communication, nonverbal communication is so important. Let's consider nonverbal communication, the need to communicate without saying, the need to communicate without words, the need to communicate silently, the need to communicate by using body language. So nonverbal communication can involve different types. It can be gestures, it can be facial expressions, it can be what we say eye contact, the way we communicate, the conversation, distance, and also some of the paralinguistic factors like the body distance, the touching, for example. So let's play with some of the mini game for you. So when you look at somebody with this side, what does it mean? I think you know. It means what? Come here, right? Easy. Right, and what about this? When you ask a question and the person shrug the shoulder like this, it means, I don't know. And that is very common in European country, where in Vietnam we just shake our head and that's enough. How about this one? When you ask a question, say, I like this. I mean, I cannot hear you well. Can you speak more loudly? I can't hear you. I can't hear you well. Like President Ho Chi Minh, he say, is that clear, everybody? Are you listening to me? Or this one, of course, it shows that you need to be silent. You need to keep silent. So this one you can see often when the tie is out at the end of a match, at the end of a football match, for example. So you can also see the meaning of body language and the cultural differences of different types of body language. You can see, for example, with thumb up in the US, it means something very positive. It is a signal showing that it's a good idea. However, in Australia and Nigeria, it is a very, very rude insult. So you could see some example of differences. Or on this side, when you can see this, somebody spinning the finger around the ear. So in America, it is a sign showing that you are crazy or something wrong. There is something wrong with her mind. But in other countries, like in Argentina, it means Tom, you have a focal. Tom, you have a focal. So it really shows the differences. So understanding the differences would add meaning to your conversation. When you see a man winking like this, what does it mean? It means different things. In Nigeria, winking at children means that you would like the children to get away, to get out of the room. In other countries, for example, in Latin America, winking can be a very romantic invitation. In other countries, you can see winking would mean different things. So it would not be the same in different countries with the same signal. Or for example, for this one, cross the finger, when you say that it means good luck in America, but in other countries, in Russia, for example, is a very rude way of rejection, of saying that you don't feel happy or you feel disagree. In Argentina, in Spain, this side refers to bad luck. And also in China, this finger crossed show that you want to show number 10. So countries and different custom would vary with meaning. For this one, it's so 0. In the United States, okay, in the United States, in Japan, it means money. So you can see it's funny when you see the customer doing this with the waiter in the restaurant. You need to know what it really means in different countries. Right, so you can see I put some of the example for you, and you can match this with a different feature and signal, showing that a person is saying yeah, the person is saying no, or something I want to do. Could you come here, please? Or could you keep the noise down, please? Cray, I'm wanting you, I don't know. Who or me? I think it is quite easy and quite straightforward, and very sure custom varies with culture. Understanding the psychology of communication involves also very good understanding of the differences, the variant in terms of custom and cultural differences. So, for example, with a way of saying hello in different countries, you can see how people hug, how people shake hands, how people bow to each other, or a pat on the shoulder. A pat on the shoulder would really show a very sign of intimacy. So I think with all of these very basics, I would like to send you the last message, knowing yourself and knowing others. I would like to read some of the very famous Chinese philosopher. Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom, and knowing others is strength, and knowing yourself is true wisdom. So with this, I'm going to end the section today, and we would hope that you have very productive and very effective section. Thank you very much.